Hey everyone, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee and welcome to Open BxRx. Coming up on today's show, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas and New Year's too. Christmas time is here and we're going to spread some Christmas cheer, and we're going to hear from the co-founders of a cruise company that is lifting the spirits of our youth with some hearty gifts. And then we'll speak to a member of two organizations aiming to preserve and honor the past while uplifting and building for the future. After that, we'll highlight a work of love. The Love Coach is going to be here, aiming to help couples achieve long-lasting and healthy relationships. Plus, Bobby C, kaboom! He steps into the room with the latest in the world of sports. And then finally, we'll speak to the author of a book that is pushing for inclusion in specific communities and cultures in the workplace. So stay tuned. All of this and more is headed your way. We're wide open. Here we go. Hey, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, and you are watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Our first guest is a co-founder of Empire Cruises, and he joins us today to highlight the work that they are doing with holiday toy drives and a cruise for kids from underserved communities. Please welcome to the show, Alex Suazo. Alex Suazo, welcome.
Good morning, Bobby. How are you?
Good morning. Did I say that last name right?
Suazo.
Suazo. I know I was in the ballpark. I just want to hit home run,
You almost got it. You almost there.
Suazo. Alex, so you've been working on this for some time because I've been hearing it in the community. People have been telling me about these cruise lines and all that, and I was wondering if it was your organization.
Yes, we have actually been in business for the past, we're approaching 12 years now.
Yeah.
So we've been in business for 12 years.
All right. And so now you're working in the community. You're going to help the youngsters out this holiday?
That's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to bring a little bit of joy, happiness, especially during this time of the year.
So Empire Cruises, tell us a little bit about it. Where do you guys cruise to? Are you doing the rivers?
So yes, Empire Cruises is a company that operates in the New York City area. We operate out of Manhattan, the 5 boroughs: Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. Well, not the Bronx, it's Uptown on 125th and the West Side.
We wave to the Bronx when we go by, right? Because you're doing the 26-mile thing around Manhattan Island?
Well, we don't go completely around. Our vessel's unfortunately a little too big to go around the island itself.
Yeah.
But we cruise up the Hudson. We do get a lot of people from the Bronx borough that come down to our events.
Yeah.
All the time.
Then you stop by, you get some nice photo opportunities from Pier 17 and then the Staten Island, Governor's Island, and things of that nature, right? Ellis Island.
Absolutely. A lot of, for the most part, a lot of New Yorkers don't actually get the chance to enjoy all the beautiful sights that there is to offer in the New York Harbor.
Yeah. And, a lot of people, even though they live, or a lot of us live in New York City, sometimes we don't get the opportunity to do that, Now, is it a party boat also? Is it a party cruise? Can you bring a sound system on it, or a band, a DJ?
So we do a little bit of everything. We do weddings, anniversaries, retirement parties. We like to call it a floating venue.
Ah, there you go. What's the one that stands out in your mind? You've been on a lot of them.
Well, I mean, they all do. We do a little bit of everything. I would say our popular events have, I would have to say, is July 4th and New Year's Eve.
Ah. That's a good idea because you get out there, you can see the fireworks, right?
Absolutely.
That's probably all booked up, right?
Absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah. Do you go around to Coney Island because they have the fireworks over that area also?
No, we don't get to go to that area in Coney Island. The majority of the main fireworks are actually in the they take turns from the East River to the west
Yeah.
to the
To the
the East River
Hudson.
and the Hudson.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yes.
So we're going to book early. We're going to jump on. Is there food and everything on there?
Absolutely. We provide the whole experience: food, bar service, entertainment.
When
We
sh-
do a little bit of everything.
when should people start booking for the 4th of July?
Well, we get it. We start releasing dates the year before, a year in advance.
Now, you can bring groups or individuals, or you can just rent charter the whole boat, or what? How do you do that?
So we do a little bit of both. So we have smaller boats that you can rent privately, and we also do open to the public events where you can book your tickets individually.
And that's a beautiful thing. You guys have been in existence for 12 years, and you're giving back to the community. Talk about the donation drive that you're doing.
So my business partner and I, a couple years back, decided that we wanted to make a little bit more of an impact in these communities that we operate out of. We thought it was very important to give back to the underprivileged families that are in these communities as
Yeah.
well, that don't necessarily get to enjoy Christmas. They don't get to get on they don't have that night out. They don't have that experience of getting on a boat. And we kind of see ourselves coming from that background.
Yeah. So you were looking for people to donate toys so that you can give toys to underserved children.
Correct. We wanted to reach out to the underprivileged families. I would say around this time of the year,
Hmm.
and just kind of bring a little bit of joy. We were looking for shelters, um, foster homes, just families in
That's
general
good.
that needed a little bit of cheers and joys around this time of the year.
Yeah. What did they have to do? Where did they have to go? Where do we send them to?
So we usually post our information at empirecruises.com,
Uh huh.
and we provide a link for everyone to actually subscribe and join and reserve their spot on our vessels.
Yeah. You also have the free ride for the kids, right?
Absolutely, that's our pride and joy.
Yeah. So for same deal, they have to just go to the website and check it out, right? Is there a number to call?
Correct. Usually it's 212-686-9200.
Uh huh. Or go to the website.
Correct. Or they could go to our website, empirecruises.com.
And what do they look for on the website when they want to just maybe donate a toy, donate toys, or bring their kids to the donation to receive toys and the cruise?
Correct, correct. So what we do is we post all the details and information. And there's a special link for those that want to provide that want to become volunteers
Ah,
and share in the activity and work with us hand in hand to provide this service.
is this at one of the piers?
Well, this is at yes, absolutely. It's at Brooklyn Army Terminal.
Uh huh.
That's on Second Avenue and 58th Street.
Ah, okay. So
And we also start out of Pier 36, and that's in just south of the Manhattan Bridge.
yeah, and it's all on the website, EmpireCruises.com.
Empire Cruise. Correct.
EmpireCruises.com. Hey, listen, Suazo, right? I'm going to say Suazo. I wrote it down right here. Look, I got it.
Right.
Suazo. I got it right. Alex Suazo, we appreciate you, man. Co-founder of Empire Cruises. I'll be looking for you. We're going to see if we can book something for maybe for 4th of July or something like that.
Please do. Please do.
We'll bring
Thank
the whole
you.
family down. We'll bring the BronxNet family down.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
And we wish everyone happy holidays, safe and happy holidays from our family over here at Empire Cruises.
To you too, from all of us here at BronxNet, to you, and a happy new year to you. Happy, prosperous new year. And we'll see you on the other side of the clock.
Sounds great. Thank you
All right.
very much. Looking
Great.
forward to it.
You got it. All right, we'll take a break right here. We'll come back and we'll cruise some more. Next on Open. You can now watch MNN, Brick TV, QPTV, and SIC TV on BronxNet. Tune in to BX Omni, Channel 67 Optimum, 2133 Files during most Sunday evenings. We'll show you some amazing content from our friends at Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Brick TV in Brooklyn, Queens Public Television, and Staten Island Community Television. Every borough represented in the Boogie Down. Epic partnerships for the ages. And catch our new Next channel, produced in partnership with MNN, 24/7 on BronxNet Channel 952 Optimum and 2138 Fios. And welcome back. Our next guest is the treasurer for the New York Metro Black Pilots of America and for the tri-state chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated. He joins this program to speak about how the organizations are continuing to pay homage to the past while building the bridge to the future. So please welcome to the show, Mike Turnbull. Mike, how are you, man?
Hey, what's going on? I'm well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Hey, did you fly in this morning?
No, I actually didn't fly yet. I actually flew from Aruba. I just got back to New York yesterday.
Whoa.
But it wasn't a personal flight. It was a commercial flight.
There you go. All right. But you do fly. I was hanging out with Donnell and them. Donnell has a 4-seater, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was hanging out with Donnell. We were at one of the Christmas parties at the Kennedy Center for Assemblywoman. She's running for councilwoman, but I can't tell anybody now.
I get how that goes.
Miss Dickens.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Inez Dickens.
Inez Dickens, yes. And
absolutely.
the mayor came by, everybody came by, and, we just had a grand old time. There was food, music, and fun, But don't tell anybody, she is running for city council.
Hey, mum's the word. I won't say nothing.
We just did. So tell us about the wonderful work that you guys are doing with these two organizations. Of course, Tuskegee Airmen. Roscoe Brown used to be a big part of our BronxNet and the Make the Grade Foundation and WBLS, because he was on the board over there also, and he was good friends with another Tuskegee Airman, Percy Sutton, who was an intelligence officer. So tell us about all that whole thing. Give us some inside stuff. Give us some backstage stuff, and bring us up to date.
Okay, so again, like you said, I'm the treasurer of both of the organizations. These are two powerful and well-recognized organizations, two nonprofit national organizations. So for Black Pilots of America, it's a national organization throughout the U.S., and we are the New York chapter. We represent the New York Metro chapter. Mm-hmm. And for Tuskegee, Claude B. Govan, Tri-State chapter, Tuskegee Airmen.
Yes.
I'm the treasurer of that one also. And we represent the Tri-State area, which is the 5 boroughs plus Long Island. Because there's another chapter upstate New York, but we're the Tri-State chapter.
Yeah. Give us a little history of the Tuskegee. There's Roscoe Brown there. There he is. He was the first black pilot to shoot down a German airliner, right? Or not an airliner, a warplane.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in World War II, we were told that we couldn't fly. And one of the quotes from the airmen that they say till today is that they said we couldn't, and we did.
Yeah.
So in World War II, like again, they said that we, blacks couldn't fly because they didn't have the mental capacity, or they had small brains, or whatever their idea of black men were at the time. Yeah. And we were given a hard time, but they persevered, fought, went through the Tuskegee experience, all of that. And once they were assigned to the bombers, we didn't lose any after that.
Yeah, because they were shooting down the bombers left and right. But when the Tuskegee Airmen got up there, it
was a whole different ball game.
All the way in. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. And so you're giving me the chills, because you're still working with young people to try to get them, into flight school and things of that nature, right?
Absolutely. So we try to, like you said, we're trying to keep the legacy alive, and we have to educate the new generations, because we go around to some of these schools and we be in the classroom. Sometimes I might ask, hey, anybody know about the Tuskegee Airmen? And I've been in a couple of classes where only might have maybe only 2 of them raised their hands, and that's kind of bad,
Yeah.
for them not to know what happened during World War II. And also, as us being Black and minorities, we still face these challenges to this day. So we educate them on the history, and then we are training them now how to fly,
Yeah.
and the different fields of aviation, and
You want to
today.
fly? You believe you can fly? You better know a little bit of history, know where you've been, know where you are, to know where you're going,
Absolutely.
and you can
So
fly.
yeah, so the different chapters of Black Pilots of America, we have, some of them have schools, and we train how to fly, expose the youth to aviation, and it's not only limited to the youth. Anyone that wants to fly, we have different organizations that do different things, and different kind of schools,
Yeah.
and different kind of training.
Yeah, no. When I met you guys one time, we were backstage at the Harlem State Office building. We were doing a show, and you guys were back there, and I think I interviewed you and put you on the radio back, or did some shout outs. But you had a teenager with you that was a phenomenal pilot already, and she was still, training, and she would take you up and fly. And I said, you know what? If I fly, I'm going to go up with you. And she said, yeah, I'll take
Right.
you. Yeah,
Absolutely. So it was a couple of us. Donnell was there, Brian was there, my wife was there.
Yeah.
The young lady was there, and again, we have females that are training. They tend to forget that females can fly too.
Yeah.
So, it's not only just the men. So we have airmen and airwomen, and we're training Black men and women how to fly.
I believe I can fly. Now listen, I did that the last time.
Right.
How can people donate, or they want to get involved with your organizations? How can they donate to you?
So that's a great question, and I have the perfect answer for that. So, being that I'm a member of both organizations, Black Pilots of America and Tuskegee, I'm the liaison for a program that we're putting together. We're putting together a program called Helping Our Youth Take Flight. Claude B. Govan Tri-State Chapter, Tuskegee Airmen, Inc. meets New York Metro Black Pilots of America. And in this program, we're raising funds from sponsors and donors to fund introductory flights and ground courses. So the ground courses will be administered by New York Metro Black Pilots of America. It's a 9-week course. And we also do the introductory flights, which is the participant, young aviator, will get in the plane and view the skies or the world from the cockpit. They'll in the plane, and there's two controls to where they will be able to manipulate the controls and actually fly the plane.
You're not going to do the Turnbull tumble, are you?
No. Not with passengers. I'll probably do that by myself.
You do. You freak out up there, don't you?
No. I'm not the stuntman. But yeah, so the introductory flights are ages 13 to 17.
That's great.
And that is just so they'll get the experience, because a lot of families might not be able to afford this hobby, career, or whatever you want to call it. It's a little expensive, but that's the purpose of us getting sponsors and donors to raise the money so that they won't have to at least pay just to get the experience, the introductory flight.
Sponsors, donors, and grants. Sponsors,
Absolutely.
donors, and grants.
Yes. So the program's called Helping Our Youth Take Flight, and the monies are sent to the Claude B. Govan Tri-State Chapter of Tuskegee Airmen, Inc. Now, the website we have a way they can send money, but I'm the contact person for this program and the liaison.
Look at that whole crew right there. Did you see that whole crew? Let's put that up one more time. Put that up one more time. Take a look at this crew right here. Who are they?
Absolutely. Yes, and some of the airmen are in there. 2 just recently passed. One was 95. That was William Johnson.
Yeah.
And the other one was Wilfred Dufour. He reached 100 years of age.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
And he was
And they were
a
both
Tuskegee
sharp.
Airman. Yeah.
So sharp. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Members of our chapter. We still have one living now, Herbert C. Thorpe.
Yeah. And when we go to these different places and we talk about history and I always see like a lot of well, not a lot of them, but there's always 2 or 3 or 4 of them. There used to be, but now that you said there's only one left that's up there.
Only one left in our chapter. There's not only one left. There's only one left in our chapter. That's and 2 just recently passed.
Yeah.
So it's the Lonely Eagles at this moment.
Oh my God. So I would like to become more part of what's happening here with the Helping Our Youth Take Flight. And you have to come back and, you're a part of the family now. You got to come back and come on more often and tell us everything that's going on with the Tuskegee Airmen and the organization that you're working with.
Absolutely. So again, our first sponsor is the ISTAT Foundation. They donated some funds and we're able to do 10 flights that, which would be early spring of 2023. And again, everyone's welcome. We would be welcome for you to support our program as well.
How much do you need? Tell our public how much you need for one.
Okay.
If you need to help one person, how much would that cost?
For one student or one participant, that would be $300, and that would be either introductory flight or a ground course, a 9-week ground course. So the ages again for the introductory flights is ages 13 to 17, and then the ground course would be ages 16 to 24.
All right.
But again, $300 would do either or. That's one. But as much as you want to fund or support, sponsor, would be greatly appreciated.
We got that message. What's the website?
Okay, so that's nyctai.org, and that's the Tuskegee. We also have a Facebook for New York Metro Black Pilots of America.
And what's that one?
It's New York Metro. It's NY Metro Black Pilots of America, and that's on Facebook. We also have an Instagram for New York Metro Black Pilots of America.
Yeah.
And just spell it out the same way.
Beautiful.
Right.
Now,
and then we also have a YouTube page for Tuskegee Airmen, the Claude B. Govan Tri-State Chapter, and there goes the link right there.
All right. I want to be an honorary one. Honorary Tuskegee Airmen.
Hey, I'm sure that will be.
Because I believe I can fly. In my mind, I can fly.
And I know you can. I know you can.
Hey, Mike, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to go up with you guys. Thank you so much for all that you do and helping our youth and helping people and just creating the awareness that, hey, this thing did exist and continues to do so.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
You got it. Mike Turnbull, Treasurer, New York Metro Black Pilots of America, Treasurer, Tri-State Chapter of Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated. We'll take a quick break right here. We'll come back and I believe I can fly with some more next on Open.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WVLS, and our next guest is a love coach and lingerie designer. Now, she joins the show to speak about the work that she is doing to help couples enjoy long-lasting relationships, and to also speak about the upcoming projects and events that she's working on. So please welcome to the show, Hot Cocoa. Sasha is in the house. Hot Cocoa. Wait. How did you get that name, Hot Cocoa?
Well, I got the name Hot Cocoa when I was going to a self-discovery in the sensual realm, and I didn't understand the intimate part of my life. So I nurtured an alter ego part of myself to deal with that aspect of my life, and I called her Hot Cocoa.
What? All right. So how did you become a love coach?
Well, the way that I became a love coach is I was a fashion designer first. So as I was doing fashion, The fashion that I designed was basically to bring life to the bedroom, to ignite the fire in the bedroom. But as I was designing and I had my clients, I found myself speaking a lot about intimacy, the
Ah,
sensual
yeah.
that were going on. Hence, I was doing that so much, I just ended up becoming a love coach because people kept calling me, talking to me about their intimacy.
They said Hot Cocoa knows. Let's give Hot Cocoa a call. Hot Cocoa, tell me some more. So wait a minute. People started calling you from all over. How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing this over 20 years, actually.
Whoa, okay. And people are still calling you today, even the people that you got hooked up a long time ago.
Yeah, they still call me today. So what happened was I've never gone public as a love coach. It's something I've always been doing behind the scene. So my client is always referring someone. My whole 20 years has been referral based. I've never had a
Uh,
website, never anything,
Word of mouth.
all word of mouth.
They said, wait a minute, you better call Hot Cocoa. If you don't know, you better call. Say it again.
They call me the fixer.
The fixer. All right. So wait a minute. How does this work? Does it work by a phone call, or you go to a place and you sit in a room and you coach them, or how does that work?
Well, the way that it works is yes, I go to my couples and I sit with them and we spend 2 hours together. They share with me the blueprint of how we got to this point right here where they're ready to break up, throw the towel in. And then the second hour, we spend time trying to go through that blueprint to figure out what part each person played, because I don't do the pointing the finger game.
Yeah.
So what happens is I have to take accountability for the part that they played on how they got here.
And then if you see something that was missing or something that they're lacking or something that they're not doing anymore, you point it out to them.
Yes. I keep it real.
You keep it real.
Hmm.
Now, during this intimacy or this coaching session, um,
Hmm.
do they ever kiss?
Well, yes, at the end of my coaching session, I have a thing where I dim the lights and they actually have to hug each other for a little while. Then they have to kiss for a little while. And then they have to look each other in their eyes for a little while and say, I love you about 10 times.
Oh, do you have to put on a robe, a special robe, or your special designed lingerie?
No, no, no. That's for the one-on-one with the ladies when I introduce them to their alter ego. They have to get.
All right now. All right, we're learning. We're learning. Yeah, coach on, coach on. Let us know. So wait a minute. And you found that you had this was your talent. This was something that you can make a profession from or out of.
Yeah, so I've been doing it for a long time, but it's interesting enough, a lot of guys speak to me about what's going on in their faces.
Yeah.
So because I speak to so much men about it, the guys are actually pushing me to go public to help their relationship publicly and let other men know that I exist.
Uh, that's sexy. I mean, that's good. That's good. I mean, because love is one thing, but when you have your partner there, it's always good to have that friend, that companion, uh, that person next to you that you can talk to,
Yeah.
the person that you can touch and be intimate with, and you teach all of those things. And I think people need people like you just to help out, just a little, get them over the edge a little bit, because sometimes we forget. Sometimes we're in something so long that, they say, okay, where's the love? Where did the love go? The love is there,
Right.
but it's in a different place now. So you just
Right.
help them to realize, you bring to the realization that, hey, it's there. Let's go back to the beginning.
Yes, because you have to go back to the beginning, because what happens is life happens, right? So life happens, a lot of things go on, kids, work, everybody has careers and all kind of things. But I always tell my clients that you have to keep the line of communication open,
Ah,
and that line of communication has to involve allowing a person to be authentic about the different growth that they're having within the sensual realm. Because you may
yeah.
start off and then you may end up wanting to be bad or naughty. but you got to allow your partner to go through all these different levels, because you see things on Instagram. You may want to try it. You hear things from another couple. You hear it. You may want to try it. But you got to allow your person to evolve in the relationship and not box them in with like, oh, this is how you were when I met you. I don't expect you to change at any point. That's not realistic.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you tell people who are just starting out? I mean, New Year's here, new love, new season. They're just starting out and they just met somebody.
Right. So for the people that's just starting out, I say, don't put your best foot forward. Tell that person who you are and what you like. Because what happens is you don't want to go in 1 year and 2 years and stay there and realize you don't like that person. Everybody throw your cards on the table. Give the other person an opportunity to say, no, I'm not about this life. Or, you know what? Try this out.
Yeah, you need to know up front, because people coming in, they're hiding stuff. They're hiding stuff, and then they just prolong the whole thing. If there's something that you don't like in the beginning, nobody's perfect. There's some stuff about you I may not like or I may love, and vice versa. But if you got to love a person, like a person for who they are, and that communication that you spoke about is very, very important.
Yeah, and you may not like what you hear, because sometimes people think they want something, and then when they get it, they realize they can't handle it.
Yeah.
So it also gives the other person a chance to say, you know what, I always thought about this and dreamt about this, but you know what, I don't think I can handle something like this. So you go back to a regular, normal type of thing, or you get into something more spicy. It helps you to make a real choice.
And then, there's a whole lot to it. Some people think it's just looks. Oh, that person's pretty or beautiful. It ain't all about looks. It's a whole thing that creates this circle of love. It's not just sex.
No.
It's not just one thing. It's a whole circle of love that creates this harmony, this rhythm of love. Yes.
Yeah, it's a whole circle. Because imagine if you get with a person because of how they look, or because if they have, a certain status or a certain amount of money and stuff like that. My question is, if that look for whatever reason disappears, or if that money disappears, are you still going to love and be as passionate for the person the same way you were when you got with them for those particular reasons?
Talk about it, Coach. Talk about it, Coach.
Yeah, because it may disappear with it. You know what I mean? So you got to be very careful why you're getting with the person.
Yeah.
You got to know what you want.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, do you have what do you have coming up that everybody can get involved in? You have something special coming up?
Yes. So I'm doing a birthday party January 7th and 2023. And the birthday party is me acknowledging that everybody, the people that I've coached over the years, they want me to go public. So I'm listening to them finally, and I'm going public. So my birthday party is called the Bedroom Takeover.
What?
And yes, it's called the Bedroom Takeover. And the experience that I'm going to give is we're going to spend a lot of time talking about things in the sensual realm, intimacy, how men think versus how women think. And then from there, we're gonna go into a fashion show, which is about and teasing my audience and give alternative from wearing the typical lingerie, which normally you want to rip or tell your girlfriend or whatever, take that off because you saw that like 10 times, right? So the designs that I'm bringing is designs that's a little bit for him and a little bit for her. So that way, when it's all dolled up, I want the men to tell her she's moving too fast.
Watch out.
So a lot of things that's missing in intimacy is the foreplay, the visual, the taking the time, the appreciating what's going on. See, all of that plays in mind when the intimacy is actually happening.
Yeah.
So I want to really, really curate a memorable, intimate experience.
All right, Coach. Now, Coach, what's your website?
Well, right now I don't have a website, so I have my Instagram at House of Hot Cocoa. That's COCOA, like the drink. House of Hot Cocoa. That's my Instagram. House of Hot Cocoa. That's my email address if they want to reach out to me for a private session or to get the tickets for my birthday party.
Uh-oh, watch out. Sasha, Hot Cocoa, love coach and lingerie designer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll take a quick break right here. Bobby C., he has the latest in the world of sports. He's coming up next. Stay tuned.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Sorry for your son. Yeah, I saw you guys out there.
This morning, we continue our look back on an impressive 2022 for us as we highlight some of our favorite conversations from the world of sports. Marty Lyons is one of the greatest New York Jets to ever don the uniform. These days, when he's not part of the team's broadcasts as an announcer, he's making plays with his humanitarian efforts through his foundation.
You know, we started in 1982 with only 6 people sitting around the table. Now we operate in 13 states. We've raised, like, as you said, over $40 million. We've helped over 4,200 families. Sometimes it takes a tragedy for people to open up their eyes and realize that we all have a responsibility. We all can create a platform of life. And then once you get on that platform, you really have to find your purpose in life. You know, my platform was playing for the New York Jets. I always thought football was my purpose, but it really wasn't. And in 1982, my oldest son, Rocky, was born on March 4th. My dad suddenly died of a heart attack on March 8th. A little boy that was big brother named Keith died at the age of 5.5 on March 10th. I struggled to find an answer why the good Lord would go in 6 days. I'm going to take you from the ultimate high and I'm going to take you to the ultimate low. But you have to understand this is life. It's going to happen to every one of us. How are you going to deal with the adversity? Now, my first response was to run, get as far away as I possibly could, because you get tired of people going, hey, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, there's something that out of something negative came something positive. 6 people created a foundation. I owe a lot of thanks to Kenny Shroy, my former teammate. And then all of a sudden it starts moving. And then all of a sudden, you know, here you are 40 years later going, wow, where did all the time go? And you don't realize where the time has gone until you go, wow, our first recipient would have been 57. Our second recipient, he would have been 46. And you start to add that 40 years to all these kids that got cheated out of life. And then you realize, wow, you know, we've accomplished a great deal, but we got a great deal more to be accomplished. And I need more help from the people that are out there that says, hey, you know what? I want to help. I want to make a difference. I want to make an impact in life, and I want to be a part of it.
Marty Lyons still clutch as ever. Helping others is a big part of the coaching process. Our next Sports Corner features a return for one standout college coach in the women's ranks. We head out to Manhattan College for a look at women's hoops and a conversation with Coach Sam.
I think for me, it's truly awesome to be able to say that I played at a Bronx high school. went to school in the New York metropolitan area. And then now I can help another young talent come to school in the same area or even from the same borough. We have a Bronx side on our roster, which is always awesome. So I love when that's a part of the deal and that comes with it. And then as a recruiter, I'm always constantly looking for new and upcoming talent from around the 5 boroughs, but particularly keeping an eye on Bronx talent. There's also international recruiting, and there's also transfer portal recruiting, which to me opens up even more doors to meet more talent, more players, and to bring some local players back home.
One of the things that you picked up for your resume during these last few years is being part of Coaches for Change organization. Talk a little bit about what that has meant to you and what kind of impact you've been able to make there.
So I was actually invited into Coaches for Change by one of the board members, a former Manhattan College men's coaching player, men's coaching side, Rasheed Davis. So that for me was a way for me to give beyond the game, as you expressed. I think to me, basketball is the easiest part of what I do. I think helping young men and young women grow, have a voice, be able to be successful in their adult life. To me, that's an even greater reward. When you watch a player go from the recruiting stage, you coach them, you mentor them, and then they go into the world to live on their own and start their own family. I think one of the best things I can hold on to, and one of the things I do hold on to as a coach, is that they're making it and they know what to do. They know how to live. And they can always, my phone is open. They can always call and reach back to see if they need anything. But again, going to join Coaches for Change was for me to be able to connect with even more coaches, to grow as mentors and leaders, and as well as connect even better and stronger with the players that we were coaching. I think the landscape politically lately has been very tumultuous. So it's important that we're able to discuss with our athletes and have an understanding of what's actually happening in the world and how each of us can make an impact individually.
Nice work, Sammy. Go Jaspers. We've got a host of notable coaches in the Bronx, and because of it, we have many student athletes that get the opportunity to play at the next level. This year, that included one of the newest, San Francisco 49ers by way of Fordham Rosehill in the BX.
So excited to be able to speak with you this morning. I know you're getting a chance to head on out to San Francisco this week. Tell us a little bit about draft night. I mean, that's got to be the most exciting time for a college player to be hearing their name announced during the NFL draft.
Yeah, so it was definitely a very exciting, but also just kind of really nerve-wracking, really long day overall. Draft day 3 started at around noon, kind of didn't really get picked until about 4. So I think it was kind of very nerve-wracking for my entire family, just kind of waiting for that call. And when John Lynch and Coach Shanahan called finally, there was so much excitement in the room. Kind of really just didn't know how to react yet, and it was kind of just it was a great experience, great feeling. The fact that I was able to experience it with my family around me was just kind of meant the world to me, just because they're the ones that have sacrificed so much for me to be where I am, and kind of really pushed me to be the best person, best player, best student, all around. Just kind of really just kind of made sure that I excelled in anything I did. So I definitely think that I wouldn't be in the position I am without them, and just kind of being able to enjoy the success with them is something that I kind of really grateful for.
I think it's so crazy too, because over the years, it's always been said that, you can't have players from New York, but now you're starting to see more and more players, if not just from the city, coming from programs like Fordham. And at one point, Fordham was a place that turned out a lot of NFL players. And now I think that's starting to become the trend. I mean, we recently had Chase Edmonds on the show, and there's a couple of teammates too that were on your team this past season that might be in the draft as well. Tell us a little bit about what it's like being that guy from New York, getting a chance to play in the NFL.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, kind of not very much name recognition as opposed to these other Power 5 schools and that. But I think that just kind of really just shows you gotta have a chip on your shoulder. Really, that I think that being from Fordham, you kind of got a little being from the Bronx, going to school there, you kind of have a little grit about you. So I think that's something that really pushes myself to work harder and harder, just because that to make sure that I have the opportunities afforded myself. I think that having guys who have been in front of me do it, like Chase, I think just kind of being able to really follow in his footsteps and kind of really see the hard work that he put in and the success he's having, and just kind of thinking to myself, okay, if I just work as hard as him, kind of even harder in some areas, and just kind of push myself as much as I can, then I really be able to kind of enjoy that success as well.
Super excited for the young man. the boy can play football. And when it comes to basketball and the creative process, this guest has got the ball on a string, as they say. Maxwell Pierce is a Harlem Globetrotter who is an artist on and off the hardwood.
So the process for this collection was very research driven. I was definitely aware of the contributions that a lot of the athletes that I'm highlighting have made, but I wanted to be sure that I was highlighting them in a way that made sense and like honored their legacies appropriately. I definitely didn't want to miss out on key things. So I just started by selecting an athlete that I felt I wanted to highlight. And then I probably spent a few days to a week researching what they've done. And then I think about how I would connect to what they've done. It really focuses on the legacy that these athletes have left. I wanted to be sure that my vision of what I wanted to communicate through the piece aligns with what they've actually contributed. So I would think about what I want the piece to look like, and then I have to teach myself how to make that piece or actually bring it to fruition. So for example, like I wanted to make a giant statue out of baseballs, but I wanted to resemble Jackie Robinson. So I had to figure out the best way to attach these baseballs to each other, then figure out how to make the face so that its dimensions are somewhat human-like. The face for the Jackie Robinson piece alone went through like 4 or 5 different makeovers and modifications. Like I made a face that I put apart, then I put a new one on apart. So a lot of the process was definitely teaching myself how to make these pieces. But I think that just overall, all of the pieces are made out of equipment that the athletes use for their sport. And so dealing with that kind of media alone is going to take some time to get used to working with if you're going to make it into an art piece.
Thanks for spanning the globe and taking a spin around the world of sports with us this AM. Happy holidays. I'm Bobby C.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
And welcome back. Our final guest is the owner of the Yoshida Academy. And she's here to speak about her book, Inclusion is a Verb, 5 Signs That Your Company is Genuinely Inclusive, and how she is raising awareness for multicultural communities in the workplace. So please welcome to the show, Minué Yoshida. Minué, welcome.
Hi, welcome. How are you doing? Nice to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yes, so happy to have you. Now look at you have this big Yoshida Academy. How did you get it all together? Where did it all come from? Tell us about
it. Thank you so much. So Yoshida Academy was born about maybe 6 years from now, I have to say. I was working already with my business partner, Andy Oganda, before that. And but officially started actually just a few years ago, and you would never believe how soon this happened. I've been working for corporations for about 27 years, but at the end, I always say that the mission calls you, and it's stronger, and the fire is faster and bigger than what you already have. And so, Academy was born out of a need of becoming a multicultural solution is a one-stop shop for many corporations,
Yes.
institutions, organizations.
Now, Minué,
Yeah.
when you were working for these corporations, I guess you were in the mix and you realized that there was something that was needed that you needed to work on. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. Speak about how you got in the mix. How did it all happen?
Yes, and so I've been here in this country only 19 years, and ever since I came to the United States, I realized that I was never belonging, and I was always looking for this sense of belonging because I am half Japanese, half Mexican. I grew up in Mexico City all my life, but then looking like this, they were always like, "Okay, you're Asian, definitely." So I have this feeling of I belonged, but then I came to
Yeah.
the U.S. and I finally found, okay, wait a minute, it's not belonging. What I'm looking for is diversity, equity, and then inclusion. And so we are right now looking for inclusion and activating inclusion. I've been involved in DEI world, what we call, for 18 years now. Can you believe that? 18 years.
Wow.
In different in corporations, they're called ERGs, employee resource groups, or business resource groups, or networking groups, typically. So I've been doing that for the past 18 years now.
Yeah.
And I was part of, I don't know how many, I can't even count them. In the beginning, I started with Latino and Hispanic, but in the last company, I actually can join all of them to be part of every single group of affinity groups as well.
Yeah, no, I get it. I feel the same way. But when you first got here, you didn't feel embraced, right? You didn't feel like, loved, so to speak.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And in those days, and that's part of what's in the book actually, on the first chapter is when I just got here, I did not even know what harassment was, what microaggression was. I didn't know what lack of belonging was. I didn't know what discrimination was. I really had no idea. I have to be honest. And there were many things and jokes that were at my expense that I was laughing with them, and then I realized, wait a minute, this is not even appropriate. But I didn't know until later on that I discovered where I was. And that's what I'm saying. Inclusion, activating inclusion is not just something that I'm thinking about. It's something that I had to go through and live through, to go through that experience and now say, I can call it now. I can see it now. And now I have a different aspect and a different willingness to stand up and speak up. I think it's an act of bravery at the end of the day.
And now you put the pen to the paper. You said, you know what? I'm going to write a book. Inclusion is not a verb. How did you come up with that name, and what's it all
Actually,
about?
inclusion is a verb. It is the name of that.
It is a verb.
It's a verb, and it's because and now because I have my own company with my business partner Angie Ogando. So now I can call the cat, and this is how we say things. When I was working in corporations, there was a lot of I think it's called red tape, and it's like when someone is redacting a document and it's old traits in black, scratch in black. So now I can say it, and this is what the reality is, that many companies are checking the box, and they are saying like, I'm just going to have a Hispanic Heritage Month Day or a Black History Month Day. But that does not change the story of the company. That does not change the fact that everyone on the top layers, not on the bottom, we can say we're diverse in the bottom. But when you see the top layers, then you realize inclusion is not all the way vertical. It could be horizontal, but not vertical. So when you go up to supervisor, director, VP, CEO, CMO, CFOs, IT, etc., they're not diverse. And you can see this in the biggest corporations right now.
So it stops somewhere. So when we say Black History Month, is that enough, or
definitely not.
1 month is just locked into just 1 month, and Black History is American history, or every day?
Absolutely. And so and then we fall into something else. So checking the box is one of the biggest issues. The other one is called tokenism, right? It's like, oh, you're Black, yeah, come over here. So it's not your talent, it's not your capacity, it's not your abilities, it's you're Black, and I want to tell the world that I have a Black person in my team, right? Well, that's not the point. The point is, when you have a lot of people in front of you and you have the possibility to groom them all so that they can occupy and use and be on those seats where the decisions are made, where the budget's given, right? All the way in the top. Are you actually giving everybody the same opportunity? Because that is not the case. And I've seen this. I've been here for a long, long time and haven't seen that. So tokenism is like, oh, you my token person, right?
Yeah.
And that's also not the point.
You got tokenism, you got code switching.
You have code exactly. You have code switching. There's a lot of times where it's like we want everybody to feel comfortable, yet we're sending the mixed messages in corporations of what professional is supposed to look like and what is not. Like one of my friends said, Pavel Martinez said, let's redefine what professional is. Because if I'm telling you that you can come to this place and you can be yourself, but please, if your hair is curly, you have to straighten to be professional. You can't use earrings like this because of this. You can't do this. Are you asking me to be myself or not to be myself?
Wow.
Are you penalizing who I am? So yes, and that code switching, it's another one. And there are so many of these words that it's almost like it's a trend to have a DEI or a diversity and inclusion group, but then there's no budget. We've lived this year, I'm not kidding, 2022. Many corporations ironically said, I want you to be better. Everybody has to grow. Oh, by the way, we have cut the budgets in training and in diversity and inclusion.
Is all of this information on your website? Do you have a website that we can find out more about what you're doing?
Yes, absolutely. And it's YoshidaAcademy.com. That's the easiest, YoshidaAcademy.com. We're actually using the hashtag inclusion is a verb. Yeah. All of this information is here. And please know this book is for awareness, but it's also to be a little bit disruptive and people to go there, go through the DEI scorecard, make sure where your company is, and then go back and say, in this scorecard, this is what we have. We need to improve. It gives you a starting point to improve inclusion in your corporation, institution, or in a university.
Thank you so much. YoshidaAcademy.com, right? YoshidaAcademy.com.
Absolutely. And social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Yoshida Academy as well with the same name.
We appreciate you. Thank you for sharing, okay? And come back again.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much.
You got it. Space. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you.
Minué Yoshida. She's the founder of Yoshida Academy. That's about it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. We want to thank you, our guests, for joining us, and you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. You can follow us on BronxNet TV for continued coverage. Thank you for letting us share in this space and time with you. You can join our hosts, Kevin Arlene, Darren Jaime, Rena Valentine on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday for a new episode of Open. Thank you so much. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the choose. And remember, whether you say you can or you can't, either way, you're right. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and I'll see you over 107.5 WVLS. Have a joyous new year, a prosperous new year. And we'll catch you another day, another way. We love you all.